Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Chair Sessions with Dr. D. I have Conrad Warre on the line today from Boston, and Conrad's band, Bees Deluxe, is one that pushes blues convention and defies rigid categorization to create a sound that respects the blues tradition while creatively infusing elements of jazz, 80s new wave, and psychedelia. I like to call it psychedelicious. But the term acid blues is often used in some characterizations of their sound. And Bees Deluxe is currently touring to support their recent album 𝘕𝗎𝑖𝑛𝑎TE, which has been getting rave reviews from Blues and Roots Americana Press, and has helped them earn an opportunity to compete in the International Blues Challenge in Memphis. Conrad's going to talk to us today about his band's influences and this notion of acid blues, in addition to an upcoming show at the Lizzie Rose Music Room in Tuckerton, New Jersey on Friday, August 15th. Welcome aboard, Conrad.
Hi, how are you today?
Great to have you here today. Thanks for taking the time to come on and talk to us about this topic that's pretty intriguing.
It's a pleasure. What can I tell you? I think you wrapped the whole thing up nice.
Thank you. Well, before we get into this acid blues chat, I'd like you to give our listeners some background into your band's history and your albums and your works.
It's a long story.
I know.
So you can tell by the funny accent that I'm not from Boston originally. I'm from London, and I used to be a carpenter. And every Friday night up on payday, we would go to the pub. And in the pub that night, in Islington, was a band playing, and the foreman of my carpentry gang said to the manager of the pub, he says, "Conrad could play better than that." And the manager looked at me and says, "You're on. Your book's next Friday." And I had a guitar, but nothing else. So, and then I was hooked. I started playing there on Fridays, and we had a line around the block, and I started writing reviews for music papers like Melody Maker and Sounds and Record Mirror. And then I managed a band called the Body Snatchers, who were on two-tone, who went to the charts. And then my girlfriend said, "I have to move to New York to dance because there's no modern dance in London." So I moved to New York, and I started playing at CBGB's on a Monday night, the audition night. And Haley Crystal said, "You guys are really good. Come back on Wednesday for $20. And we graduated up to playing Saturday, opening for Living Color and Dance Lab. And then we moved to Boston, and then I decided I'd put together a blues band, or a modern blues band. And I found a keyboard player playing at Ryle's Jazz Club in Cambridge. And I found Paul, our founding drummer, by advertising, looking for Bernard Purdie, who's a famous drummer who played with Steely Dan a lot. And we've been going ever since. The Spinal Tap moment is the bass player, who tends to be a different bass player depending which territory we're playing in. And the key to our, if you could call it success, but our C-level success is we're not playing the material that all the other blues bands play. So when you go out and hear a band play, you're going to hear some Muddy Waters, you're going to play rock, you're going to hear Going Down, or Red House, or so big tunes that people don't know but recognize as good because they were originally done by Billie Holiday or Etta James and Otis Rush and guys like that, who are not the top three known blues names. And then we take another step further, is we mash them up a little bit. We change the tempo, we change the key, we change the speed, change the arrangement. And then after the third step in the game is to break them open in the middle and improvise and not play the arrangements that we thought about. So then they become jams, they become improvisational. And depending on the audience response, we can play a tune for half an hour, we can play it for 3 minutes. And so it's different for us every night. So, and hence the term we use acid blues, because it falls apart intentionally and it comes back together. My favorite story about the Cream is they were playing the Fillmore West, and they started a tune and they looked at each other after 10 minutes and they didn't know what tune they were playing. So they had to be reminded how to get back to the coda. So we feel like that sometimes, but very rarely.
So
does that help?
Yeah, yeah, that's real good. And I want to go back to that a little bit too, in a little bit more detail. Tell us how long your band's been doing this, and how
I think this
and a
I
little bit
think this
about your
lineup is
discography.
I think this lineup is about it's about 8 years.
Hmm.
And we record in Hyde Park, which is a suburb of Boston, in a basement with a wonderful producer named Joe Egan, and he helps us chop and work on harmonies and makes us better than we are. So we did an album with him called Voice of Dog, which sort of got recognized as the start of acid blues for us.
Oh, cool.
And uh, and he also produced Hallucinate. And we've done a couple of live things, like we played on a radio station and they send us the tapes, so we mix them and put that out as an EP. And one thing that we did, I thought was quite funny, is when COVID was ending, we were regulars at the Boston City Winery. When COVID was ending, the Boston City Winery called me up and they said, "Can you play the opening night for us when we're coming back? The tables are all going to be 6 feet apart. The bartenders and the waiters and the wait staff are all going to be wearing masks. We want you to play, but we don't want you to sing," because they're still nervous. So we went, okay, we could do that. We've got 3 hours worth of material. We just won't sing. We'll get straight to the chorus. So I went to the tracks that we had and remixed them with the lyrics taken out. I remixed them, the way, and we put that album out as Speechless.
Wow.
So I thought that was amusing.
So did that turn out to be like a super jam?
No, because we were playing tunes. We're playing, standards by Miles Davis and
Okay.
𝘂𝐴𝑧𝐽 and Frank Zappa and Buddy Guy, but we weren't singing. It was
Oh,
hilarious.
wow. Yeah. So that's one of the things I think that really stands out when first time I saw you guys perform at the Lizzie Rose, was that eclectic blend of sounds, where you had periods where like, yeah, this sounds familiar, and then it went down, it went out to a place that was like, wow, okay, um, it was pretty wild. It was like a wild roller coaster ride at some
And you
points.
and you said to yourself, "That's not right."
No, I actually thought this is wild. It was kind of like I was more wondering, it's like when you're on a roller coaster and you're not kind of sure of the ups and downs and the twists and turns where it's going, but you're excited about it.
Right. We try to make it so you don't know what's happening.
So that was really cool. I thought that was really cool. And that definitely was something that got the crowd, you know, uh, into it, really captivated by it. Um, so let's
But
get back to the acid blues. Your band, they bring in quite a few influences. How does this acid blues uh, concept fit in?
so, have you heard of Sun Ra?
Yes.
Sun Ra's house band rule was: if somebody makes a mistake, follow them.
Mm,
Make it look as though that was exactly what was meant to happen then. And we try to adhere to that. Is if things go wrong, make it right. And the other thing that I would countenance all other bands to do is really concentrate on contrast, because I'll go and see a show and I'll go, this is great. Oh, next tune's in the same key, same tempo. Oh, this is great. Oh, next tune's in the same key and the same tempo. And everybody's playing all the time. And everybody gets a solo. And I go, you can't do that, because as we know scientifically, listeners respond to contrast. They'll notice when a door slams in the middle of a movie. They'll notice when a trumpet solo comes in. They'll notice when a car screeches and hits a wall. It's when you change something that they suddenly pay attention and they get excited and start really listening. So we concentrate on producing light and shade and contrast and stops and starts and changes of instrumentation.
sounds like that.
So
And it sounds like that's what kind of the changes are what kind of captivates people and keeps them wanting to stay on the ride to kind of
uh,
figure out.
exactly, I think so. Because otherwise they're going to sit and talk to each other and go to the bar.
Right. Yep.
Because they go, oh yeah, I've heard this. Yeah, I like this. This is a great beat, and then they turn around and say, hey Shirley, what are you doing tomorrow? It's like you got to grab them. You got to tell them something that we weren't expecting to hear.
Absolutely. So Are you playing club? Are you playing clubs and bars up in the Northeast, up near
We're playing
Boston?
tonight. We're playing on a bill with Monster Mike Welch. And then we come down to Lizzie Rose next week, and then we move up to Brooklyn and we play Sunset Stoop, which is a new room for us.
Okay.
And then we come back to Cambridge and we play in Toad, which is an Irish pub. We're playing after the 𝐂𝐲𝐽 band, so that's going to be a contrast.
Do you find there to be a difference in the audiences between the bars and clubs and some of the other, we'll call them listening rooms, like the Lizzie
Oh,
Rose?
difference. So, for instance, when we play the Bull Run, the audience are average age 40, 50. They eat food, they drink, they're nice to the waiters, and they'll listen. And they might get up, stand up, and applaud us at the end of a number that they particularly liked. But it's not like playing in Japan, but it's serious. Now we play on the Cape. We play at Grumpy's, which has a football field style car park with holes in it outside, and very young people come in and they play pool and they play darts and they dance in front of us, and they're very high energy. So one night the manager came up, I don't know, about 1 a.m. He says, "You can stop playing now, Conrad." I go, "Why?" He says, "Oh, because we've bolted the door because the kids are outside having a fight with the police."
Oh boy.
So that's a very different audience, and you have to cater to. These guys want high energy. They don't want to have. They don't have to think about long melody lines.
Yeah. So you're able to adapt your set
Yeah,
according to the venue, to the crowd.
and neither one is better than the other. It's just a different mood. It's like, do you like ice cream or do you like spaghetti? They're totally different, and
Yeah.
they're both delicious.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. That. I think that's the cool thing too, is that you kind of have that. It's kind of like a menu with quite a few options on it,
Yes,
and you guys are seem very adaptable to the audience.
I think the responsibility for that is that the four of us all have very different tastes. So Carol will sing a song by Nancy Sinatra, and Paul, he likes Kiss. We don't play any Kiss, but he likes Kiss.
Wow. And that is that's a pretty eclectic variation there.
Right. And when I go home, I listen to Wayne Krantz, which none of them can stand.
So would you say all of those influences come into your repertoire, into your set
Definitely,
list?
definitely.
Different influences from each of the people in your band?
Well, here's a thought, and I know it sounds horrible, but I'll explain it. There are millions of guitar players who are so much better than me, and half of them have gone onto YouTube and learned how to play like someone. And you get on stage and you watch them, you go, "Oh, I know who it is. That's Albert King. Really well done. A little faster, perhaps, but they've learned how to do that." And if I catch myself playing something that I've heard before, I try to change it. So Jackson Pollock was working on a painting on the floor in Sag Harbor on Long Island, and the New York Times art critic came down to see him. And they're looking at this 20-foot long canvas. And the critic pointed out a certain area of the painting. He said, "That looks like a horse." And Jackson said, "Where?" "Just there." And he threw a bucket of paint over it. And the critic said, "Why'd you do that?" He says, "Because I don't want anything objective reality in there." So I feel that way about playing music, is that if you really think you've heard it before, we've made a mistake.
That's where your artistry comes in. The notion of the true artist, the taking something and kind of making it your own in your own way, but maybe respecting certain traditions.
Right.
Um,
We're using the instrumentation, but it's got to be sincere.
yeah, sincere meaning, authentic meaning, reflecting the creativity of yourselves.
You have to feel it.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and sometimes I'll say to guitar players, I go, "Can you hear it before you play it? Is it in your head? Do you know what you're going to do?" Of course, that can be a curse.
Yeah, I would say so. Is it hard to perform live like that?
No, it's much more fun. I think
Oh, I'm sure.
if I was in, so there's a band here called Dark Desert Eagles who do the Eagles, note for note, including the repartee in between tunes. They're highly successful. They sell out wherever they go. They make a lot of money. And for me, if I had to be in that band, I would go and lie down in a motorway in front of the traffic.
Right, because you're not able to express the idea or the song or the music or the feel, the vibe, so to speak, in the way that you want to.
Right. It's just work then.
Yeah. It's kind of, I hate to use the word canned,
Yeah.
but it's kind of canned. It has a specific recipe, maybe a certain protocol, that's followed, and that has its place probably in some, in some ways. But it sounds like for you guys, that is not what you are bringing to the table,
Yeah,
to
I
the
think
stage.
what tribute bands is, they experience a different kind of joy. The joy they feel is that we pulled it off. We did it really well. It sounded like the original. We got Eddie Van Halen down perfectly. And that's what they enjoy about it. They go, we did it really great.
Yeah. And you guys pride yourselves on quite the opposite.
Or not.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. So tell us about the tour. I know you've been really traveling a lot. You guys have been traveling a lot lately. Tell us about what's been going on with your tour.
Well, I don't know. A good example is if I talk to a painter and have an exhibit, I say, there's no point painting and putting them in your basement. You got to go to your local coffee shop, hang them there. Go to a hospital waiting room, hang them there. You've got to show. We make no bones about the fact that we'll play cafes, theaters, festivals, wine bars, breweries, clubs, dive bars.
Mm.
We have to play. So we've built a repertoire of rooms up and down the East Coast where we like going, and they're all different from each other.
So
and we've booked as far as January next year, because we're going to play in Memphis to compete at the International Blues Challenge in January. And right now we're booking gigs to get down there so we don't have to drive for 20 hours. We'll drive 6 hours, play a gig, and wake up the next morning, drive 6 hours, play a gig. So we may be playing in a gazebo in someone's town hall one night and then in the theater the next night.
That's awesome. So it sounds like your touring is just as eclectic as your music. You haven't ruled out any venues. You're kind of doing all kinds of different venues from
right.
The whole wide range.
You've got to. I think that because that's we're sea level. We don't really have an agency working hard for us, putting us in the same size rooms every night.
Yeah, and I'm sure that keeps it fresh for you guys too.
Oh yeah, and you make friends.
Absolutely.
Because some clubs we go into, they go, "Oh, you guys again. We love you guys. Here, have a sandwich."
Yeah, well, you guys have played the Lizzie Rose quite a few times, and there is a repeat list of followers that come out to support you.
It's a wonderful room. It's absolutely a jewel in terms of music venues. The sound is perfect, the engineering is great, the people who work there are all volunteers. They're fabulous, very friendly, and it's the opposite of playing some of those sort of heavier metal kind of clubs where everything's black and they have security at the door with wands. It's a totally different vibe.
Right. It is. It is. What does that room allow you to? Does that allow you to do anything a little bit differently?
Well, it is a pleasure to talk with people afterwards. I tend to get the guitar nerds. When I come off stage and the next band's playing, like 3 or 4 guys come, "What is that? What kind of tuners have you got on there?" So they talk to me about the gear, which is cool.
Yeah, it is an intimate place, if the artists are willing to hang out by the merch table, or when as people are leaving, it's kind of like it's almost like a little bit of a meet and greet, and you get to really connect with with the listeners and the audience in a more intimate way, not only during the show, but if you're willing to stay a little bit after the show, also afterwards in an even more personal and intimate way.
Yeah, before and after.
Yeah.
So, for instance, we were playing there one night, and there was a group of young men outside who hadn't got in because it was sold out. And they came up to us, and they go, "You guys are really good. Where are you playing next?" And I go, "Oh, you must be a band." And they go, "Yeah, we're called Twisted Living." I go, "Okay, give me your card or give me your website." And we got them booked back the next year to play with us because we met them outside talking about they'd been listening to us from the car park.
They're blazing the scene right now too, as you know.
Yeah, they're doing great.
Yeah.
I keep telling them to come up to New England, but they haven't gotten a van yet.
I think that'll probably happen soon.
Yep.
I've been following them too, and actually doing a few video projects with them too. Fun to work with, and so much talent there too. They opened for you guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm hoping Renee Maskin works out like that too. She's very heavy and big in Asbury and New Jersey. But,
Yeah.
you know, if she's up for it, we could bring her up to New England or further down. You know.
Yeah. So
help her expand her reach.
Yep. So Renee, she's a singer-songwriter from, not for those not familiar with her, Renee is a singer-songwriter from the Asbury Park area. She's actually pretty accomplished herself. She's got some albums out. I think she's toured with the Pretenders. I had the honor to interview her recently, and so yeah, that should be a great show. It's a great lineup between what because Renee is going to be doing something, her style is different than your all style, and I think it's really the audience, I think that night is really gonna have a really eclectic mix.
Right. I think she's great. Because she's doing what she wants to do, not to copy something.
She's doing it. Yep, she's doing it according to the way she wants to do it. And yep. So that's going to be at the Lizzie Rose in Tuckerton, New Jersey on that's Friday, August 15th. The doors are at 7. The show is going to be at 7:30. Tickets are available online. Are they on your website too, or just the Lizzie Rose?
Yeah, we got them at beesdeluxe.com.
Perfect. Hope you all can come out there and check out. It's going to be an exciting, definitely a night where you're going to get more than you expected.
Come prepared for the worst and expect the best.
So, Conrad, tell us about the IBC. So you guys have earned an opportunity to compete in the International Blues Challenge in Memphis. Tell us a little bit about that.
So every state has at least one blues society, which is a non-profit, which is for the advancement of blues with upholding the traditions and giving back to communities, like teaching music in schools and that kind of thing. And every year, if they do it, if they get around to doing it, they run what's called a blues challenge in their state. Connecticut has one that runs for about 4 nights, and they have about 16 bands competing. We competed in New Hampshire recently on a bill of, I think, 6 bands, and we played for 25 minutes. If you play too long, you get punished. If you play too short, you get punished. And you've got to put it over the footlights. You can't just go up there and go through the motions. So we played, we watched the other 2 bands. I went to the bathroom, and in the bathroom I heard we'd won, which I wasn't expecting.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And so what that means is you then represent that state in Memphis, Tennessee, competing on bills with bands from Finland, Sweden, France, Belgium, Germany, New Zealand, Chicago, San Francisco, New Orleans. And if you go to blues.org, you'll see how they ran the 2025 challenge. So they take over the town, and as a competitor, you get a pass, so you can go to all of those clubs and see all the other bands you're playing with and competing with. And I think they run about 50 or 60 shows. Then if you get through one of those shows, and you go to a semifinal, and then if you get through that, then you go somewhere else. And for us, it's an opportunity to go and see a million other bands that we don't come to Boston, for instance, so we don't run across them. Also, when you're playing in a band, you don't get to see all the other bands in that town because you're working that night.
Right.
And with luck, you'll meet some press, some radio, some people like yourself, some agents, who say, "Oh, we like you. Come to San Francisco." So it's networking opportunity and an educational opportunity, because we'll see other bands will go, "Damn, we never thought of doing that. That's a great idea."
Yeah. So I have never been there yet. Everyone that I've spoke to that goes has been there and has competed or just gone. Fun is always at the top of the list too.
Right.
Like you said, I heard it's a lot of fun. It's a great networking opportunity. I heard inspiration, the energy there in town during that is off the charts. So yeah, it's on the bucket list for myself too. So I want to wish you guys luck with that. I'm sure you're all going to have a great time.
Come with us. We'll pick you up in a van.
Oh, I'll be waiting with my bags packed right in front of the house. It sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So, Conrad, I want to thank you for coming on today and talking to us about the band, about the Acid Blues, and about the show at the Lizzie Rose. Want to wish you the best of luck in the competition, and we will see you at the Lizzie Rose in just on August 15th.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Same here.
The holes in the road were made by people from outer space.